Welcome back, folks. This is Homemaking with Mima. My name is Wendy, and in today's video, I'm going to be starting my summer freezer meals, and I'm going to bring you along with me. So here I have the 3 packs of the beef sirloin tip roasts. I'm going to be cutting these down into kebab style. I may even be cutting them down, not so much chunks, but strips that can be weaved on a skewer. So, because they tend to stay, when you weave the meat onto the skewer, it tends to stay better than if you just push that chunk of meat, because sometimes the meat slides off. These are still a little frozen. So I'm going to get them all unwrapped here, and I'm going to let them sit for just a little bit. I want to cut them while they're still partially frozen, but I'm afraid that in the center it's going to be too frozen. So I may cut these roasts actually in half, so then it gives the centers time to thaw out. So as you could see me cutting the roast, you could see I struggled. They're still frozen really good in the center, so I'm gonna let these thaw out some. But see how nice that meat is? These are gonna make great kebab skewers. I do have a string here, so I have to be careful of that. So I'll be cutting that off, all of them, when I do get a chance to cut these down. I'm gonna let these sit out for 20 minutes. Let you look at them again here. I'm gonna let them sit out for 20 minutes, put them back in the refrigerator, let them sit out again for 20 minutes. Foods are allowed to sit out, don't quote me on it, but I believe it's 20 minutes, no longer than that. And then you wanna put it back into a refrigerated unit, but that's how I'm gonna do it. And these should be able, I should be able to still do this today. It's just gonna be a little while for me, but not so much for you. So I'll bring you back when it's time to get these cut down. So I'm still letting these thaw out, so I figured I'd take advantage of it and get the gallon-sized bags ready for it. I'm gonna do one new recipe, and it's called Mouth-Watering Steak Kebabs. That was the title of it on Pinterest. What interested me, not the title, was the ingredients. So I'll go over that when I get that one ready. So I'm gonna make 2 of those, because like I said, the ingredients sounded appealing to me. I need to use this up. This, I believe, expired. I can't remember. I think what it was I couldn't find a date on it. Very well is what it was. Oh, here it is. No. Yep, it's 2024. 10/2024. I'm pretty sure it's still good. It's never been opened. So I'm going to use this for one of the marinades and good old-fashioned Italian salad dressing. I've used this multiple times on chicken, pork, beef, for marinades, and it works great. So, one of each of these and 2 of the new recipes. I figured since I'm waiting, I might as well get this steak kebab marinade made up. So I'm gonna make 2 different recipes. I'm gonna store them in these right now until I am ready to get the meat cut up and get it into the bags, so that I have the correct measurements for each bag. It calls for brown sugar, a tablespoon. So I'm going to pre-measure that out, because then I'm going to be using liquids in the tablespoon. So I've got that done. This is the only real solid I need for the tablespoon. So I kind of messed up when I was videoing the first one that I had made. So I'm going to bring you along again while I make the second one. 1/4 cup of olive oil. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I have a liquid aminos. It is gluten-free. And you can use it as a substitute for soy sauce. All right, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. I do not have red wine, I have white wine, and so that is what I am using. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. 2 cloves of garlic, which is pretty much 2 teaspoons if you've got this pre-minced garlic. I have pre-measured out the 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of onion powder. All I need to add is a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. I'm not putting any salt in it because of the Worcestershire and the liquid aminos, but I do have this white pepper to use up, so I am using that. Get it all mixed together. I will have the recipe in the description box below. This is my first time making it, so I don't know how it's going to actually taste on the meat. It tastes pretty good, just tasting it off the spoon, but the everything has to marry together. So, and I am pouring it into these containers. Then I can get all this washed up. I have a sink full of dishes that I'm doing. I'm going to get a spatula to get the rest of that out. So this is the marinade that I'm going to make 2 bags of kebabs out of, beef kebabs. So I've cut this one into strips. It's still frozen. When we go to make it, it'll thaw out completely. So I'm not worried about it. So we use the metal skewers because we can get more on there. So, and then I don't have to worry about soaking them, okay? So when we go to make them, I know that this is still kind of frozen. I'm going to like sew it on. Like that. And this tends to stay on better and cook better for me in my eyes. So this is how I do my skewers. And I believe I do my chicken the same way. I kind of weave it on there so that it's on there good. So I'll do like meat, then vegetable, onion, you know, that sort of thing. And there's been times where I've run out of the vegetables and I've done a whole skewer of just meat. And I might just do that. Do separate skewers of vegetables and separate skewers of meat. So this is how I'm going to get all of this cut up and put into the bags. So I've got all that beef cut up. I cut it into strips instead of chunks so that I could weave it onto my skewers like I've done before. It's been years that it's been probably 5 years since I've made kebabs. I don't know why, because we love them. So I'm glad it came back to me. So I've got the marinade for the mouth-watering steak kebabs, how they're labeling it. I'm going to get a spatula and get all this goodness out of here. So I will be right back when I get the other ones put in. All right, now for this barbecue sauce. Make sure I got the right bag. I've done that before. I am just literally gonna put the whole thing in there. Probably didn't need to. Probably could have made 2, but I wanted an Italian one as well. So I had an open dressing in the refrigerator. It wasn't quite a full one. This is gonna be plenty, so I'm just gonna use this one up. Now let's see if I can get them closed without making a mess. I have had issues with that. Probably should have munched it around some before I did that, but. So I'm going to lay them flat on a cookie sheet. With the zip part up, because I'm going to flash freeze these. Then I'll be able to take them out and stack them better in my freezer downstairs. Get this one mixed up. Yeah, there's probably way too much barbecue sauce, but I just want to get that used up. Oh, and there's a hole. That's not good. All right, I am going to get another Ziploc and wrap that one in. See what I mean? You can get name brand and it isn't going to matter. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll get this closed and I am going to stick it inside of another Ziploc. There's nothing sharp in this at all. So I truly don't understand why it did that. But the quick fix. And you know what? I've noticed that these other ones too. So I'm gonna have to double bag all of these. Okay, I don't care for these. I don't know what they are. Fold and seal or something like that. Not good. Not good at all. I put them on my Walmart order. See, this one didn't break free, but I'm going to stick that one in another bag anyway. It says freezer bags. And on it, it says fold and fill. Well, it looks like there's kind of like a section here where, yeah, just be mindful, people. Don't get them. Just be on the safe side. I'm putting this one in one too. But I have to make it so that I can read the label. So I didn't save any money, in a sense, because I have had to use 2 freezer bags for these, and I shouldn't have had to. Still gonna freeze it up. All right, I will get the other ones done, double bag them, do the same thing. I'm gonna freeze them on a cookie sheet, so that's gonna help too if those other bags break. And I'll be right back. So I've got that summer freezer meal done. I've got 4 packages of beef for kebabs. I've got the 2 of the what's labeled mouth-watering steak kebabs, and a barbecue and an Italian dressing. And again, if you're gonna do freezer meals, do not buy these freezer gallon ones that have where you can, it says fold and fill. Don't buy them. You've seen that I had, you probably didn't get a close-up look, but they were leaking. So I had to use a second bag on them. So make sure you don't get that fold and fill Ziploc bags. But I've had name brand bags breaking me before, so you know, it doesn't surprise me any. So this is it for the kebab freezer meals. I believe the next one that I'm going to have in this video is I'm going to be making hamburger patties. I've shown that before. I'll just bring you along, showing you with music to it. And so I want to do hamburgers and probably take out meat so that I can cook to make the chili, so I can get that canned. I do have my canner out here, and I didn't want to put it away until I got that done. And then I'll also, then on another day I'll cook up enough so that I can make like tater tot hot dish. And I brought you along for that as well before. So yep, I'm gonna get these in the freezer then. So now I'm gonna put together tater tot hot dish and homemade hamburger helper. And I cooked up the meat. I'll insert that quick video that I took of it yesterday, and I had stored it in the refrigerator, and I split it up amongst containers. So one whole container, one for tater tot, one for the homemade hamburger helper, and then I split this one in half. So I'm gonna do one at a time. Tater tot hot dish first, and then the homemade hamburger helper. I've made these before. These are repeat freezer meals for us. Tater tots, cream of mushroom soup, cream of celery. I have Lawry's salt for the tater tot hot dish. For both of them, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper. I'm gonna go easy on the salt because of the cream soups are salty. Sour cream, I have some beef broth here to help thin the mixture out. Egg noodles for the homemade hamburger helper. For both of them, Monterey Jack cheese, and I have mozzarella cheese I need to use up. And I also had a half of an 8 ounce, so 4 ounces of cream cheese. I split it, so there's going to be like 2 ounces of each just to use it up. It was in my refrigerator. So I'm going to put it in with the warm, I'm heating up the meat mixture in the microwave to get it warm, and I'll intermingle the cream cheese in with that so that it kind of spreads it out a little bit. And then I will make the bases. I don't really have a recipe. I just kind of throw this together. There's so many recipes out there for tater tot hot dish and homemade hamburger helper. You do you. And this is just what I do for myself. The base is pretty much the same for both. However, I am going to get a little bit of Worcestershire sauce out for the homemade hamburger helper. And I did forget that. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that in with the base of that. I'm going to bring you along. I'm just going to put music to it, and I hope you enjoy. For the tater tots, I do pre-cook the bottom layer. I put a layer of tater tots, the meat filling, and then tater tots on top of it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to put a layer of tater tots, cook them in the oven for about 10-12 minutes, let them completely cool, and then finish that process. So I'm going to work on the homemade hamburger helper first because I have my tater tots in the oven, and then they'll have to cool. So homemade hamburger helper first. So I've got that cream cheese, and I said that I was going to melt it in with the heated up hamburger, and that's exactly what I'm doing right here. While I'm allowing the tater tots to cool down, I'm going to get the meat mixture together. Same thing. Cream of mushroom soup, the other half of the cream of celery, except for this time I'm going to put Lara's salt in it because we like that in there. Garlic powder, onion powder, pepper, a little bit of salt, sour cream, and I pulled out that parsley. I figured I'm going to throw it in there. I need to use it up. So I cleaned up some of my mess. I am going to get these wrapped up. I've shown that before. We like a little bit of Lara's salt on top of our tater tot hot dish and kind of in it as well. I have some left over for a smaller meal down the future. I don't feel like getting another casserole pan out, and I just want to get this done today. How I do my casseroles. I get parchment paper. I spray the side that's going to be on top of the food. In case there's cheese on there, like the homemade hamburger helper, I had cheese on the top. Spraying it helps prevent it from sticking. I still do it even though this doesn't really have a big layer of cheese. Then I get foil around it, and then I wrap it 3 times in saran wrap, and I've shown that before on my videos. So that's what I'm going to do, and I will bring you back when I'm done with that. All right, so I've got more freezer meals for the summer. Yes, these are casseroles. Sometimes you just want a comfort meal. Sometimes you just want something you don't really have to do a lot of effort at. Like, I'm like that. I've got 2 hamburger helpers, 1 tater tot hot dish, because we are having one tonight. It's cool out, we had some rain, and so we're gonna have a comfort meal tonight, so we're gonna have one of the tater tot hot dishes tonight. I do have some left over of the tater tot hot dish. I put tot or hamburger helper base, because I can use it for both, either one. And it'll be for a smaller casserole. So there it is. My next plan is to thaw out hamburger to make hamburger patties. I'm not doing that today. I will bring you back and it will be included on this video. However, I am just not doing it today. All right, so now I'm gonna get these in the freezer to freeze. So this is another day. I am still trying to complete my summer freezer meals that I had made a goal of, and I've been interrupted. I've had to work, And so I'm gonna make my hamburger patties today. I've shown this before. I just used the cheap Dollar Tree press I got 4 years ago. I thawed out 4 of the 1 1/3 chubs. I'm just gonna make these up and I'll show you how I do that. I do use a Ziploc bag too for easier clean up on this. And I'm gonna be flash freezing them. And then once they're completely frozen, I'll put them into a Ziploc bag and they will be in the upright freezer, easy access for us to grab for however many we want to cook on the grill. So let's get this done. So I am going to make these into under a baseball size. All right, I got that done. So I took a gallon size Ziploc bag. You can use probably a quart size, but I just use the gallon. And I just put the patty or the ball in there. If you see how I've got it sitting, then you put the Ziploc bag on top of it. And then you just press. Try to press evenly too. Sometimes you might tend to go to the other side. There it is. I always tend to push more on the one side. I'll do one more and then I will get these done and I'll bring you back. I am done making them. I got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I got 19. I'm kind of old school. I try to put a little hole in the center. There's rumors that states that it helps it from shrinking up. Whether that does or not, I don't know. I've always done it. I know when you buy patties pre-made, they don't have holes in them. But anyway, I will finish doing that with the rest of them. And as you see, all my yuck is contained in the Ziploc bag, so I can throw this. I still wash this, and it still does get some blood on it, but it doesn't get that yuck. It doesn't get that yuck. Okay, so this is all gonna get washed. This is gonna get thrown away, and I'll be right back. So this is all complete. I'm going to throw it into the upright freezer, let them flash freeze. I will bag them up tomorrow. And now my next project is going to be making 2 meatloafs for the freezer. So now I am going to get the meatloaf going. I've got 3 chubs, They're £1.50 each. I am going to be able to get 2 decent sized meatloaves out of it. And what I'm going to put in it is, I've recently discovered that I like having the stuffing mix in it. So I'm going to put one box of stuffing mix for the 3 of these chubs. Should be enough. I have some leftover ketchup, leftover barbecue sauce. There'll be a squirt of mustard in there. 2 eggs for 2 pounds. I'm not gonna put a third one in there. And I have some onion as well that I had in the refrigerator. I don't know if I'm gonna use all of it because I do have this onion soup mix that I want to get rid of. So I will get a spoon and just spoon out some of the onion from in here because I'm adding this as well. Plus there's onions inside the stuffing mix. I do have some frozen pieces left in it, so what I'm going to do is pull that out, because that won't mix up well. And that's okay. I'm not worried about it. I just want to get these done. I can cook up this burger that's not completely thawed out yet and put it in with something. I'm pretty creative, so I can do just about anything with it. I'm wearing gloves just because it's convenient, and I have them actually. So I have this much of still partially frozen or not workable. So I will put that into a container and deal with that later. I'm gonna get this off the table. All right, so in goes the eggs. The container of soup mix. I'm going to try not to touch the onion container. That should be good. Push that aside. I'm going to use all of this barbecue sauce. I'm going to get a fork to pop that out. And of course I couldn't get the drawer open, so I had to take my gloves off and get new gloves now. I'm just going to empty what's in here. There's not a lot. But why waste it, right? Same with the ketchup. I'm going to put all of it in here. Just a smidgen of mustard and this whole container. And then of course, I have to get my scissor, I think. All right, I'll be right back. Nothing can go smooth, right? I just need to be more prepared. So I'm gonna put that whole container of stuffing mix in, and then I'm just gonna get it mixed to combined, and then I'm gonna let it rest before I make my loaves. So I've let it rest some, and I realized I have enough here for 3 because we don't normally eat a lot of leftover meatloaf. So I'm gonna make 3. I'm gonna get a plate to try to even this out some. All right, I think I got it. I thought that was going to be a chore too. Oh, as you see, I've lined my muffin tins with saran wrap. I went one way and then I went the other and then tucked it down inside because you're going to see that I'm going to wrap these up and I'm going to flash freeze them in the pan. So that way then I know what pan to put it in when I get ready to make it. There we go. And I usually put a little divot in there because everyone knows when you cook with burger, you get a lot of grease in that. And this way it helps let it run off into the pan and get off of the meat itself. So I'm gonna finish these up and then I'll be right back. All right, I've got 2 of them wrapped up. But by doing this, I can already have them wrapped up and they're gonna be in the size of the pan that I am going to cook it in. I'm going to take these down and put them in the freezer to flash freeze. And then I will take them out and I'll put a label on them before I take them downstairs. Because then it'll stick better. Then once they're flash frozen, I can take them out of the pan and they can just set in one of the containers down there as a freezer meal. So I'm down in my pantry where my upright freezer is, where I've got the freezer meals at, the summer freezer meals. And as you can see, today was the day I did the hamburger patties and I've done the meatloafs. So I've got, I believe it was 19 hamburgers. So that'll be probably 3 meals and lunches maybe. I have 3 more meals here. Meatloaf, comfort meal. I have 2 hamburger helper casseroles, comfort meal. Tater tot hot dish, comfort meal. Then I have these for skewers. I have Italian dressing kebabs, barbecue sauce kebabs, and 2 of the mouth-watering steak kebabs that it was a recipe that I got. I believe it was on Pinterest. I've got a good start for summer meals, making it easy for me because I've got the garden that I need to tend to. I still work and we want to do some fun things as well. So having freezer meals always benefits me and my family. Some they can do on their own, like the hot dishes and the hamburgers. No one ever openly chooses to have meatloaf here. So I didn't even have to write the directions on there because that'll be me that'll be cooking it. And the kebabs, they may do those. They know how to do that on the grill. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I wanna thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I want you folks to make it a really great day.